Welcome back to the Detailing Bay. We're spending this season taking you through some of those detailing jobs that can sometimes feel a bit overwhelming. We've tackled safe washing and paint correction. Now we're heading to a part of the car that takes a real battering, the wheels. Dave, where do you start when it comes to your wheels?
I always think when you're doing the wheels, almost it is a separate job to washing your car.
Agreed.
Because if you kind of incorporate other than cross-contamination, they don't get as good a clean as they should do. So it's completely up to you whether... I always tend to go for the wheels to start with, and then I'll flip, and then 6 months later I'm doing the wheels after I've done everything else. There's no real right or wrong, but what you want to do is see it as, that completely separate job. Each wheel you're getting down to on the wheels level, having like the correct equipment, giving it that deeper clean. It's not just the face of the wheel that needs to look clean. If you want to look after them, it's even behind the spokes, the barrels, even where the nut plugs, all that areas need that special attention, because the wheels, you go to all this effort with your paint, but yet your wheels go through far more like exposure to like fallout and other components that are gonna, age them a lot quicker if you don't act and clean them properly.
There are some wheel cleaners these days that are that good that if you do it while you're doing your wash process, you almost feel like you're cheating. You just spray it, rinse, and they look great. But when you get down close, if you've got like a microfiber to it, you'd notice that you've not got all the muck on.
Yeah, there's a lot of cleaners that, are going, that are touchless and XYZ can do this, that and the other. And it sometimes kind of diverts you and takes your eye off the ball, and you're looking down and that face, that wheel, so much focus on the face of it. And granted, I get it's the most exposed part, but it's only half the job.
Can you use the same products as you do for washing your car, like shampoo, for instance? Are you using the same shampoo? Because some brands have like a dedicated wheel shampoo, don't they?
I think out there, like the ones I've tested, dedicated wheel shampoos, for an example, are kind of a product for the sake of being a product. They're there to say, this is good for your wheels. When because sometimes people will search and rather than ask the question, can I use a bodywork shampoo on my wheels? They'll just get a wheel shampoo and it's there in a bottle. There are slight differences, but a lot of the time, there's not enough differences to almost warrant it as two separate products. So it does make it easy for people that aren't in the know. They know that is a wheel shampoo. The beauty of dedicated wheel shampoos, as bodywork shampoos, is they're more lubricating. So if you've got more like temperamental wheels, like a lot of wheels now are like gloss black, or they have some like inserts, some have even like plastic bits on them now, where you need to be more gentle. Everyone, it's easy to try and almost mistreat your wheels, like, that strong part of the car. But you want to treat them, especially the faces of them, like you would your paintwork.
Yeah, because a lot of the time it is the same kind of paint if they are a colour wheel.
Yeah, well, you find, like...
or even more sensitive.
Yeah, gloss black wheels, like stuff on like your Range Rovers and that. Incredibly soft. So you do want like lubricating products on there, and that's when they make sense. And they do have stronger degreasing agents in there. That's the whole aim of them, but you will have that lubricating side as well. But if you've got a really maintained wheel, say for instance it's been ceramic coated inside and out, and you're washing your vehicle every weekend, then you can use the same shampoo that you're using on your paintwork, you can use on your wheels as well. You've just got to be mindful as well of is stuff building up that you don't always see, bedded in stuff. So it's always worth having like a fallout remover. It doesn't have to be a wheel dedicated one. If you're just using it solely for the fallout properties, again, the same that you use on your paintwork, you can use on your wheels.
What about using just a fallout remover as a wheel cleaner? Because they do a pretty decent job, don't they?
They do. It's expensive though.
Right.
And I'd kind of advise that I wouldn't use a fallout remover every single time. If money's no object and, you want to do it your way, then by all means, use a fallout remover every single time.
I know some people like it's taken over the standard wheel cleaner. That's
it is. Yeah. And people feel that is the only way to properly clean your wheels. But a fallout remover only deals with one particular problem. When you've got a heavy build-up of, especially if your wheels are more neglected, and you get a heavy build-up, then you are going to have to start looking at, and this is what people are getting more and more scared of, is like more acid-based cleaners or heavier alkalines. And they do both carry risks, but used correctly and a little bit of common sense, they will sort the other problems you have. A fallout remover, like typically fallout removers, even like ones that for paintwork are going to be almost pH balanced. when you go to wheel ones, you'll find they'll have stronger degreaser in it. So they're sitting at like a pH 7 or 8, but like an acid-based cleaner, like say around a pH 4, is going to do a far better job of getting that build up that you get behind your spokes, the areas that you don't see, so you kind of forget about. And the same with the barrels as well. Not everyone neglects them, but when wheels get neglected, the barrels take a real hit, because when they have a quick wash, the front gets done, but the backs get forgotten about.
Well, that brings me on to wheel brushes, because some clever wheel brushes can get right behind through the spokes, the tiniest of spokes, to the barrel. Just take people through the range of wheel brushes. Like, I know one of the best sellings, the Easy wheel brush. I'm not a massive fan of that myself, because I feel like it splashes product
back at you.
And I'm convinced that they would still scratch. But I wouldn't dream of using that on my paint.
Yes, it's a nylon bristle, and while it's as soft as you can go, while it's trying to get that crossover where you want something that's firm enough to lift the dirt, but not that firm that it's gonna, harm the surface. And that's where like lubricating cleaners come into play. Your regular fallout removers and a lot of your more dedicated wheel cleaners kind of always sometimes miss the point, that lubrication side, which again is why what some people will do is do a touchless on the initial wash and then use a dedicated wheel shampoo. So then for that, when you get to the brushes, you've obviously got a wealth of options. I really like the Easy Detail ones. They do spit back at you, but there's not really an area they can't normally get into, especially if you've got like tight clearance on the calipers. But then there are other options like wool-based wheel woolies. They're expensive, but they do a brilliant job, and they're a hell of a lot softer on the wheel surface. But it is always worth remembering, like your paintwork, if you've not removed that top layer of grime or softened it, then it doesn't matter how soft your brush is, it's going to be rubbing that back into the surface as well.
What about if you use like your inch round standard detailing brushes, to get in like all the nut plugs and into all the corners?
Yeah, 100%. That should be part of your kit. That they're cheap. There's many companies doing them. Valet Pro do a really competitively priced one that a bit throwaway after, a few months, but then you can go up to more like chemical resistant versions as well. Like Carbon Collective offer a nice range from really soft ones to slightly firmer ones, and they're absolutely brilliant because it's not just like the nut plugs is a good one. If you've got quite a wide spoke, give your caliper a little cheeky clean as well. But the bead as well, when the tire meets the wheel, you can get in there as well, and you just know you're getting that every last bit. And I go over the face of them. I get a really soft one, and once the bulk, the grime's kind of gone and you're getting all them last little bits, I'll just go over the face of them and into the spoke as well. It's kind of like one of the cheaper but most essential ones, really, other than the one to go through to the barrel.
And another type of brush at the same time is tire brushes. So cleaning your tires, a nice stiff bristled brush can come in handy. Like I just had new tyres fitted on my wheels. They left all that gunk on. It dried on a little bit. It was taking a bit of scrubbing. One of those took it all straight off. So they're a bit of an essential part of your kit. If your tyres have gone beyond, and you need you need to bring them back, and like a heavy pH wheel cleaner will also clean your tyres as well.
Good alkaline cleaner will get rid of them dressings. If they're new tyres, then like that lube that they use, and it like a white stuff that bakes on.
Like a sealant, isn't it?
Scrubbing that off just because you want them to look fresh. But like when it's slightly aged tyres and you've got several dressings on there and you want the best from your dressing, same process as it would be your paintwork. Get rid of what's on there previously. Use a tire cleaner or a stronger alkaline just to clean it up, and just agitating it with a firm nylon brush will get into, because they're very textured tyres, they've got logos and writing on there, and you want to get into all that. And it's got to be probably one of the most satisfying parts of doing the wheels for me, is that because they foam up a little bit and you can see that like brown goo coming off.
I was just going to say, you don't realise until you start cleaning them how mucky they are. And even with no tyre dressing on, if your tyre's properly cleaned, they almost look black again. They look proper. But when they're not, it's got like this brown film. And as soon as you spray that, like a heavy alkaline, like you say, you're sudding up.
Because that browning will remain on there, and you do start to get that browning, that effect. It
does look brown, your tyre wall, doesn't it? It's like old silicons that have oxidised and gone off. So don't neglect your tyres, people. Right, so starting from the top, talk us through the wheel cleaning process. What does your man on the drive need? What equipment?
So wheel cleaner, a wheel brush, and a separate bucket is the simple approach. So let's assume the wheels are well maintained and they're washed regular. So the approach I go in is you can either rinse with a pressure washer first just to get off all that build up, or you can go in a little bit more concentrated on a dry wheel, just make sure the wheels are cool. So if you've just driven somewhere, just give it a little bit of time for everything to cool down. And then you would spray on the wheel cleaner, and then I let that do its magic, breaking down that top layer of dirt. Once that's dwelled for a few minutes, I would then jet that off while the wheel is wet. Same wheel cleaner again, I'll spritz on, and that's when I'll start to use wheel brushes as well. So in terms of the products you're using will slightly differ depending on what condition your wheel is in, but the process to a degree remains the same. So to start with, I'll use, like, my weapon of choice is the large easy detail brush. Focusing on the barrels, so I'm getting up and I'm going at all angles to get as much of the barrel to loosen it up, to pressure washer it off. So I'll go around all the spokes. Once I've done that, I use a Wheel Woolly spoke back, and I'll just go in and I'll get the bits of the barrel moving up to the behind the spoke just to get the bits you don't see. Just go around it. Once you've completed that, then I'll go to my inch round brush, and then I'll go for the nut plugs, the bead, and then I'll go over the face of the wheel as well. It's the softest for the brushes as well. So if you've got gloss black, especially over the front and the face of them, then I would jet everything off because I don't want anything to dry on there either. And then, yeah, nylon bristle brush with an alkaline base cleaner or a dedicated tire cleaner. Go around the tire, and then I give it that final rinse. The only times really that would differ slightly is if you've got neglected wheels. If it's neglected wheels, I would use a stronger starting product. Like I favour like an acid-based product. Let that dwell for a couple of minutes. Then I get that off because I don't want that sitting there too long. I would jet that off, which will generally lift the bulk of the grime and build up away. Once I've got rid of that, then I would move on to a wheel cleaner possibly with a reactive ingredient in it, like a fallout remover. I would then go on with that and then let that dwell for a little bit and let that fully react. Then jet that off and then use my regular wheel cleaner, which is going to deal with, usually hopefully won't be too much left on there, but that's when like you could almost go in with something with a bit of a lubricant in there, like a regular shampoo or a dedicated wheel shampoo.
Yeah, with like a little mini wheel mitt, especially if you've got like a full face.
Yeah, wheel
difficult to clean that with.
Yeah, the wheel mitts are a good shout because you can kind of grasp the spokes. Obviously, on some people's cars, like the new Mercedes, them electric ones, hideous spokes. But if you've got a more traditional, like 5-spoke sort of setup, you can get your hand right behind it as well and give them a really good clean.
So once you've washed them, rinsed them, what about protecting them?
So protecting them, you can, again, like the washing process, if you want to use some of that used on your paintwork on your wheels, because something's better than nothing. So if all you've got is a spray wax, then that's still going to offer more than nothing. And especially on darker colours as well, it could be quite satisfying. It'll give it that little bit of a lift as well. But other than that, if you want to go, there are dedicated products. Some products have like slight cleaning agents in as well to help, like almost like all-in-ones, like if you remember the Chemical Guys wheel sealant, that was always like an all-in-one product. It would clean and it'd also protect at the same time. Quite runny, easy to get on there. You can apply it however you want. I used to find it easy. I used to get a little brush, dab a little bit on and just get round everywhere, let it haze and buff it off. But there are more durable products out there now, the one being the ceramic coatings, and they are the ones that are going to save you time on cleaning, lessen or slow or even stop corrosion, to make your life easier for cleaning.
Yeah, and you need less chemicals. I mean, they can all withstand like harsh chemicals, that's the point of them, but you generally need less of them.
They're more hydrophobic, so stuff struggles to cling to them more. It is just taking your time when you're choosing what you want to protect your wheels with, because if you're going to go to that level of ceramic coating them and, you want that 18 months to 2 years protection, it might seem like a bit of a pain at the time, but take your wheel off. You get to give it the best thing ever, which is that real deep clean, because you can get to the back of them and everything. But you can also coat every part of that wheel. Make sure it's done right. And then when you come to, you still got to maintain them. If you leave them 6 months, you're going to have the same problem as you did with unprotected. Stuff's going to have bonded to it, and it'll have, to a degree, hampered the coating a little bit. But if you do it correctly and then you throw it in as part of your wash routine, you'll then find that, hang on, I'm cleaning the wheels here with a regular shampoo or a wheel shampoo, and then once every 4 weeks or so, I just a fallout remover just to deal with that one thing that regular washing won't rid of.
So that's the wheels taken care of. So join us again next time when we walk you through more detail in jobs and give you an honest guide to the products available. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you listen to our podcasts.